Hey everybody, I'm redoing my GreEKs for you so you can see what little things I have changed. Not much has changed, but I wanted to redo it so you could see what I have added onto the civilization. We're going to start with the utility units, and the farms already cost a lot of resources, so I do cheaper walls with iron wall joints to bring down the cost per farm. Town centers, you can go one of three ways. You can A, do it so they build faster, that they are cheaper, or that they have more hit points. My way is not necessarily the best way, it's just what I prefer. So just in case a town center does take early hits, it can survive long term, and your villagers can stay safe. Hero sling bow, hardwood arrows of the eagle, and the shield wall so you get even more health. We all will agree that Ares training manual, standard or better, is what's best, so you can get level faster and train your villagers quicker. When it comes to villagers, I use the Hammer of Keveth, and I use a wood chitin because I find it that you get wood early. It's better than getting food early, just for the simple facts that you have to build houses, farms, and stuff first. Now, there's been some talk about going back to cheaper with the new milestones, and I think it's hogwash crap. I wouldn't do it. But I do training time, so you can actually get them out quicker. Now, for most of the buildings, like the dock, you'll see that I have cheaper walls, and then a training manual of 7.1 or better. Storehouses, I do the cheaper walls, and then on this civilization, I have an Ares so I can upgrade those quicker. And the watch post, which is same on all civilizations, I have hand-carved wall braces and lookouts of Olympus. Fishing ships are one of the things that I did change up a little bit. I did decide to get the nets of Argo so I could add movement speed and gather rate. This is just a filler. We all know that Hades arrows for speed is best. These sightings are your second fastest speed. If you ask for this name in trade, you'll find somebody that can make them. 4.2, I want to say, but I could be wrong, is the fastest. And then the Holodolphin, so it's cheaper because it doesn't matter the health or damage really that a fishing ship does. Merchant ships, we want to go speed for this, and that's our goal. And there's your Hades that I was talking about. Again, with the sightings. And then I put sails on here. I have legendary oars for 9.5 speed. I just don't see the point in it. Your treams. This is something else that I changed around because of breaking bandits. I have the bow that has the great amount of range. Line of sight is and is not needed, but it's better if you have one that has line of sight. Arrows of Actaeon, runic bronze because it has maximum range, and then of course the Hololevithon because you want more damage and health. And the reason why I say that is because in breaking bandits you can't have any stone, so you can't get to H4. And with the right ship advisors, you can get about to 60 range, and that's pretty killer. And you can take out the middle island really easy, and 3/4 of the upper island just with the treams alone. The Ballista Tream, I put this arm on with the line of sight. I mean, this is an old arm. You don't have to have line of sight. It's nice to have it, but you don't have to. With range, with runic. And for me, it doesn't matter to me how long these take to train. I'd rather them be cheaper because I usually don't ever use many of these. It's really a handful that I've ever used. And then the fire ships. I love this oil flask. It just is killer. It's way better than the other legendary, so please don't get the other one. This is the one time that I will switch it up. The crush armor is really good, So if you do play pirates or anything that has catapult streams or even catapults or ballistas or paladins, you can take extra damage from them. And then of course the Hull of Leviathan. Okay, now we're doing utility units. The last was the economy units. I'm sorry about that. Said the wrong thing, I think. We're going to start with the academy. It's just the cheaper walls and then the training manual. With my houses for GreEK, I prefer them to build quickly. And then for my market, I do cheaper walls and then a training manual, and same for the temple. I'm going to come back to the towers and the forts to end. The armory is cheaper walls and a training manual. And my caravans look all the same in all my civilizations. Speed and trade. And this is where I start to crank it up on speed, because faster you get the gold, the sooner you can use it. So if you can get it a little bit faster, it's better than just to have a little bit more. The thing about the work hat is the legendary work hat standard stats, just like these, are 4.2 speed. They just have 1% more line of sight, and line of sight is pretty much useless. When it comes to the priests, my priests are meant for speed and healing rate. I don't use them to convert, so I didn't set them up to do so. As you see, I have movement speed and healing, and then speed on the boots. The reason why I use this robe is because of the health, the pierce armor, and the bonus damage protection, so I don't die as fast against any type of unit like a bowman or a pelt. Paladins, we all know more range the better. If you want range for this unit, get Teemo. It'll help. But I don't think the other legendary arm or Titan arm for that just a little bit more range is needed. I think we have enough range once you throw Teemo on and the upgrade in your fort. So I decide to put extra bonus damage to buildings, because you also get a little extra range off the runic, and I get even more damage off the wheels. If you do not have the wheels, you can get heavy cedar beams that will do you just fine. They just make you cost a little more. And your scout, we go strictly 100% line of sight on these guys. And then when it comes to the looking glass, you want anywhere between 20 and 25. You'll see that I have higher levels. I found good deals on them, but there's not much of a difference. Now going back to the tower and the fort. Okay. I have the Theseus bow for both of these, as you can see. I have Wall of Titans, 13% for both of these. Oh, darn, not for that. That needs to be upgraded to 13%. I'll get on that for both of them. These are the arrows that you want. Okay? These arrows combined with this bow gives you a huge amount of infantry bonus damage. And the reason for that is if you have forts or even towers up, the piercing units like the archers or the pelts, you're going to kill quickly anyway. The cavalry are going to get to your buildings very fast, and you're not going to kill them off fast. But their infantry, if AI's infantry are coming at you, and you have massive infantry bonus damage between these two, you will kill off the infantry before they ever get to your wall. I mean, past your wall that's fallen down, to your building itself, so you won't lose your building. Now, some people do want range, and there's nothing wrong with range, but if you can get the infantry bonus damage, it's better. And the last thing I do is I do use wall joints of Keveth, and the reason why I use them and not iron wall joints is if you're building these anyway and you have a hammer that has 14% build speed, which is a craftsman hammer, the blessed hammer, which has 40s, and hammer Keveth that is 28 plus, this losing 44.2 is not going to be much. You're going to be able to get up the towers in time, before the AI attacks you. But when it does come to the forts, I like to get them up as fast as possible. They take so long to build already, making them 44% longer to build would just be ridiculous, and it would take you a very long time. And lastly, when it comes to military, this civilization is definitely the best geared. I like them the most, so I put more time into my Greeks. They were my first civilization. My spearmen, I know there's three things that I say. You need high DPS, high health, and build quickly. Those are the three things for spearmen. The reason why I don't have the highest DPS spear here is because I have the old-fashioned spear that gives snare. I liked it more. But if nobody can get this anymore, they don't drop anymore because they remove snare. Get the highest DPS spear, and you'll be fine. I decided to put cavalry armor. Is it really the best? Maybe, maybe not. It's really a toss-up between this one and just a really buffed out, maxed out armor that you could get. But this is definitely what I use on all of them. Training sword, because you want to build them quickly. My hoplites. When I geared out this civilization at the very beginning of the game and didn't really understand how the game concepts worked yet, I wanted a really good tanking unit that could take a lot of abuse, that could slow down the enemy, so my archers, my toxins, and my gastros could do all the damage. And this gear actually works very well, so this still does work. Now, this snare doesn't drop anymore, but you could use, let me find it for you so you know. This spear right here would be perfect for your hoplite, okay? So you get more hit points for your hoplite. I'd use that spear. But I use this one because it does have the 20% snare. Then I use the shield because it gives huge amount of health and snare resist. I debated on this armor. I went back and forth between a few armors. I did test out this one and this one, you know, see which one was best. I found the infantry armor worked better. And because I did not care what their movement speed was, because they are a tank unit, they move slow, and then the archer type units just kill off everything else, I put greaves on them. Now, this unit I decided to make very fast. This unit's meant to be quick and do a lot of damage very quickly with low hit points, so he's not going to take much abuse, but he's going to give a lot of DPS extremely fast. That's why I got the Vorpal Blade on there for 57.1. Ares War Shield, which Rostam will be better, but if you can't get a Rostam, Ares is fine. Heck, I could even upgrade this for the Spartan Shield. I think that would actually do me better. So right now you're going to actually see me do that. So what you do for this shield is you go to Sparta, okay? And this is because it's been the last patch changed, no Sparta points. I think this shield is better than Ares now, and I will change that while I do this video with you. And it's this building here. And there's a little bit of lag. I don't know why. And there you have it. 7.9 health and 7.9 damage. So we'll buy that. Go back. And I will lose the critical chance so I could have more damage and more health. I think that will do me way better. And I will get rid of that shield. Now, we'll go back to where we left off. So now that I have 7.9 health and damage, that will help. Now, as I said, this unit is strictly damage powered, so that's why I got the breastplate that has damage and health. And I wanted him to be quick, so I definitely wanted boots on him. Now, when it comes to my toxins, I wanted to have a unit, when this game first came out, that was that had decent range, high DPS, and cheap. That's what I always wanted out of this unit, and it didn't happen right away. I had to wait. That's why I didn't use the toxins much. I use them now when I play skirmish, and this is the setup I use. This bow is still definitely the one I would suggest you use, not the one with 21% range. You lose too much damage. If you want something that has range, you have Gastros, okay? So for GreEK, this is what I'd use. The line of sight doesn't matter because it's only 6.5. You don't have to worry about that. Then, of course, legendary arrows for range and DPS. A tunic, you want 25.5 and up. That's your mark. And then, when these finally started dropping, it dropped the cost for my toxins tremendously, and this is when I finally made the unit that I always wanted. I find this is the best gear for the toxins out there. And even if you can't afford the 17.6% ones, they still make ones that are 8% plus, so they'll still do you okay, so I would get those. Hippicons are a very good unit. I don't use them as much as I should. They will beat all legendary maps, except, you know, like pirates. You're not going to use them. You're going to use something different. But they will beat all the others. They are a good, powerful unit. I have the Sword of Means on there for some infantry armor, plus Shield of Rostam, so I can get at least some critical hit. When it does, it's not going to do it often, but it's going to do it some. If you don't care about the critical hit, just go right back up there for the shield that I just bought and showed you where to get it. I wanted piercing armor, so archers do not hurt me. And a gauntlet that's level 32 plus. Doesn't have to be 40, remember. Anything 32 and up will do you just fine for all units you want to put a gauntlet on. When gearing my pelts, I wanted to make sure I had a unit that did really, really well on the Alliance quests and for skirmish. So I want to be able to kill archers. That's the main goal for early on. Nothing more, nothing less. So get a little bit of damage here, health, and the pierce armor is what's important. You want to make sure you try to stop the AI to hurt you. And then bonus damage protection. That means 26.5% bonus damage protection with anything that has that can multiply their attack against you. So if you have something that kills your pelts faster, this will help stop it. I don't explain it the best. I know there's other ways out there to explain it, but I just know if there's something that kills a certain type of unit that has bonuses, this will cut that bonus down. And then, of course, a gauntlet 32 plus. This unit's actually very good. I haven't used him for a very long time, but he's actually very good. I have a few videos out there. They are a little old, but they still will work. The GreEK Spear is what you want to get, okay? Because it has cavalry armor, and it has the DPS bonus to cavalry. Plus with Saragon horse armor. And actually you do want Greaves here because this unit is so fast. It won't slow you down enough to matter. Trust me on that. But this spear is what you want. Trust me, because this unit can do some damage. Now when it comes to your ballista, you're going to want, Siege Armor of the Elephant because it gives you enough range. That's all you're thinking for a ballista, is just enough range to outrange their ballistas. And their forts, but that's really not going to hurt you much. You want to outrange their ballistas, and this will do it. You don't need anything else besides this arm. So then you go pure DPS with the plates, and then I use the wheels, or you'll use heavy cedar beams. When I started gearing up the rams, I decided to go, let's see if I remember, I think I went pure speed. Yes, I did movement speed. Yep, movement speed. And then, of course, this one was obvious, movement speed. I like them to be able to move quickly so they can take down the walls or the towers or the forts as fast as possible. Okay, for these next 4, you'll see that they're all, well, 5, they're all the cheaper walls. And then you have manuals, and then for the wonder, I have a blueprint. This unit I never use, but I geared him how he should be geared, I think. That's the problem, I'm sorry. But I think this is how he should be geared with all this stuff out there, because he's meant to take down archers, gastros, pelt type units. So you have the ragged bonus damage, plus the Ajax Force Shield, so you have the piercing armor protection. This was a difficult decision for me when it came to armor itself. I wanted it to have bonus damage protection, and then I wanted it to have cavalry and melee armor. I don't know if this is the best. I have no idea, I have not tested it. But because this unit is so rarely used, I'm not going to put a lot of effort into it and a lot of time. So this is what I have on it. This unit is probably the only unit out of my GreEKs that I just have really can't tell you 100% besides the Gauntlet. That's 32 plus. Now, Gastros. My old setup for the Gastro used to be the Zeus belly bow with Actaeon arrows with this robe and this helmet. I don't do that setup anymore. I have 2 setups. One is this. Okay? This is one setup that I use. I don't know why that's in both. But this is one setup that I use. It would give me range, a little bit more range because it will take me to about 39 range, enough DPS, and then the Argo helmet. That gives me the line of sight I need. If I don't need line of sight, I will drop the Argo helmet altogether and just put Ramses in its place. Okay? And with Ramses in its place, it'll give me more DPS. This setup here that you see gives me 90 DPS. And I only use this setup for Marion. So I can get 39 range and outrange the Ballista. Now remove this and put Athena's. It's a little old school, it's a little cheap. People would say, why bother? But I tell you what, with this bow at 9.9, 9.8 will probably be the same range, which is 34, with Athena's arrows, with good DPS tunic, and Ramses, I crank out at 97 DPS with 34 range, even though I cannot outrange a Ballista, even though I can't outrange a fort, I can kill everything else very quickly. So, on maps like Soli, this setup will tear through anything quick. On Paphos, this setup will kill everything fast. I mean, it's just overpowered. So, when you're gearing your Gastros, you have 2 ways to go. Pure range, or a King Bow with pure DPS. Because the King Bow will give you that 34-35% range that you need to outrange all their archers and Gastros and pelts to hurt you, but it gives you so much DPS that they will never get in their first shot unless they come with a massive, massive army and you have to reload, and they'll probably kill off a few. If you want to go strictly range, go Zeus Bow, like my old setup, but I find the new King Bow with pure DPS is a wicked combination once you get 85 gastros. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. This is my most recent setup for my Greek civilization, and I will get out the other ones when I have some time. Thank you for your time.